Yo, the Major 3 qualifiers have already started for the Call of Duty League, and I missed last week because I wanted to do an in-depth video and I kind of didn't know where my picks were gonna go. It was kind of like a little Wild West that week break that we had because of all the Rostermania and roster changes that were going on. We didn't know what was going to happen, whether Pred was actually going to go to Optic after all, after that whole December thing that we were figuring out what was going to happen, and then Scumpy retired, and now they thought Pred was going to come in, and then we thought Pred was going to come in again, but that thing was done. There were so many wild things that happened. Dan Ghosty ending up on Optic. Is just I'm baffled, like, to say the least. I'm speechless. Like, what was going on that week? I don't know what happened. My picks were all over the place. I saw Toronto. I saw Vegas Legion beat LA Thieves 3-1. My pick was the opposite way, and then I changed my pick against Ultra versus Legion because of the switch, and Legion was frying against LA, and then they ended up losing anyways. Like, you can tell that that week was crazy for not just the fans, but for everyone that was involved. This past 2 weeks were crazy, and we're gonna do our pick'ems for the major qualifier for three. God, I don't even know what I'm saying. We're gonna do the major picks for We're gonna do the major 3 qualifier picks of week 2. Here we go. First off, we have the London Royal Ravens versus the Atlanta FaZe. That one, I think we all have in mind what's going to happen. An easy 3-0. FaZe is really on a hot streak after winning the last major, and they've been just rolling through everybody. Never mind. They lost against LA Thieves last week. I forgot about that. LA Thieves just happens to have Atlanta FaZe's number so far, unless it's on land. All right, moving on. Optic Texas versus Toronto Ultra. Both teams have had a roster change recently, and both teams have won since their roster change happened. Granted, Optic did beat the Gorillas in a 3-2 fashion, and Ultra did beat Las Vegas, not LA. They beat Las Vegas Legion, who had just beaten LA Thieves, so they were on a pretty hot streak. So this is going to be the true test of both these teams, honestly. And I think it's going to go down to a map 5. And right now, I think Optic is the better search team, and it always comes down to who's the better search team. So I'm just going to give it to Optic right there. So we'll see how that goes. I think Optic's going to have the search and destroy at the very end. That's what keeps saving him, but they can't be reliant on that SMD because they're not always going to pull through. They need to get those respawns. Next, we have the Boston Breach versus the LAG. Now, LAG haven't made a change, but the Boston Breach have. They brought in Beans after Methods retired, but Boston Breach have been looking pretty good, and I don't think the Gorillas have been looking good as of late, so I'm gonna give it to Boston Breach 3-1. Beans has his moments where he pops off, and he's still kind of getting used to the league, so we'll see how that goes. I just love seeing Beans get hyped, man. He could be doing the worst on the team, but the vibes are there, man. You can tell that guy is passionate. I want to see more of him in the league, and I hope he stays. Next, we have Toronto Ultra versus the New York Subliners. This is going to be another good one. Toronto Ultra yet to play the Subliners with their new roster. So I think it's going to be a 3-1 on Subliners because Subliners look really good online. Because on LAN, ever since after that first major, they have not been looking hot. It might be the Major 1 curse where whoever wins Major 1 does not win the World Series. What am I saying? The World Champs for Call of Duty. They're gonna have to prove themselves once again because this is Major 3 and it's not Major 1 anymore. A lot of the teams have made changes, and a lot of the teams have gotten used to this game, and they've stepped up the game since. Next, we have LA Thieves versus Seattle Surge. It's gonna be a good one. Seattle Surge been looking kind of mid. I don't want to say mid, you know, because they're a really great team, but they've been on and off lately. So I'm gonna give it to LA Thieves. LA Thieves just came off a hot win streak off the Atlanta FaZe, who just won Major 2. So I think the logical choice is gonna be Seattle Surge losing 3-1. Next, we got the Florida Mutineers versus the Boston Breach. Florida Mutineers did make a change. So they lost against, who did I say? FaZe in New York. So they lost against FaZe in New York. They have a really tough card ahead of them. This is where it might get a little bit easier, but it's a good test as to where their team's going to stand, because Boston Breach is also new. But I think Boston Breach is going to bring it out, and they're going to keep rolling with this. I think it is going to go to a round 5, search and destroy, and I think Boston Breach might have that. Vegas Legion versus Atlanta FaZe. So this is going to be a tough one. Atlanta FaZe versus Vegas Legion, because Vegas just beat LA Thieves. And follow my logic here. Vegas beat LA Thieves 3-1. LA Thieves, after losing to Vegas Legion, one of the lower teams on the bracket, they beat Atlanta FaZe 3-1. But Atlanta FaZe just won Major 2 after beating, I believe, LA Thieves, who got beat by Vegas Legion. Do I give it to Vegas Legion, or do I give it? You know what? I'm going to say this is going to be a really good, close game, but FaZe is going to close it out. Really, this is going to be a series to watch, man. Like, this is going to be the series of the week. All right, moving on. Next, we have, on the final day of the week, we have LAG versus Los Angeles. London Royal Ravens. Where's my head today? I think it's going to be a close game. Actually, it's not going to be that close. It's going to be 3-1. LAG. London Royal Ravens is just back to the bottom, dude. Like, I don't know where they've been lately. Then we got Optic Texas versus the Minnesota Rocker. The fan in me is saying Optic, but the logic in me is saying Rocker. Because let's see Rocker's record. I should have just looked at the record first. I had them 3-1-ing, but they got 3-0'd by Surge. Like, they let me down. So I'm not gonna, you know what? The logic says it's Optic. The fan in me was right. I should have gone with the fan in me. Seattle Surge versus Florida Mutineers is gonna be a good one. I think this one is gonna be close as well. Actually, no. I think Surge beating Rocker kind of puts them above Florida Mutineers right now, especially since Florida Mutineers has that new roster. I think Surge is a solid team, and I think they're going to take it 3-1. Hopefully, I'm close this week. You know, I haven't gotten more than 60% this season, so maybe aim for 7 out of 10 correct. You know, it's going to be tough. I kind of think I have a grasp on what's going to happen. So hopefully we hit that 70%. Like I said, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. What are your predictions? You know, am I faded for these picks? Let me know what you guys think. Leave a like. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.